as in just a couple of minutes. But before that, time now for a check of some of the day's top business news stories. Cole Stangler is here. Hi there, Cole. Let's begin here in France, where the authorities are heavily courting the financial sector post-Brexit. Tell us more.
Yeah, that's right. The ambition has been pretty clear for quite some time now. There's sort of this idea of having Paris replace London as the financial hub of Europe. Authorities say they're making progress on just that. Today, President Emmanuel Macron paid a visit to JP Morgan's new headquarters in Paris, just a stone's throw from the Louvre. Alongside CEO Jamie Dimon, he touted the creation of some 3,000 financial sector jobs in recent years, a share of them from JP Morgan, but also Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs. Later in the day, Finance Minister Bruno Le Maire made a new pledge vowing to create another 3,000 jobs in the sector by the end of the year. At an event in Paris, Le Maire said, quote, "Brexit has been a major setback for the EU, but it has been an opportunity as well." Let's take a look now at some of the day's trading action. European index is finishing Tuesday in positive territory. That's despite concerns over the Delta variant. As you can see here, the FTSE and the CAC 40 both up around 0.5%. Bigger gains over in Frankfurt. Wall Street, meanwhile, continuing to see gains. U.S. consumer, slight gains, but still in positive territory. That's after U.S. consumer confidence increasing this month to its highest level since the pandemic began. Good news then for investors. S&P trying to improve on that record high that we saw yesterday. Next up, French pharma giant Sanofi has rolled out a major new investment. It's planning to spend some 400 million euros a year to develop vaccines based on messenger RNA technology. The goal is to come up with at least 6 clinical candidates to target infectious disease by 2025. Last year, the firm disappointed many when it announced a delay in its drive to produce a COVID vaccine. Unlike Sanofi's shot, the jabs developed by Pfizer and Moderna both rely on mRNA technology. It's widely seen as the next frontier in vaccines. Well, next up, one of the most high-profile guests at the Mobile World Congress has taken the floor. While not in person in Barcelona, Tesla CEO and SpaceX founder Elon Musk gave a virtual update on his venture known as Starlink. It's a satellite internet business aimed at offering high-speed connectivity to hard-to-reach parts of the globe. While some doubt the project will ever receive the upfront investment it needs to flourish, Musk says he's ready to pour a lot of money into it, up to $30 billion over time.
You can think of Starlink as filling in the gaps between 5G and fiber, and really getting to the parts of the world that are the hardest to reach, the most difficult to reach, 3%, possibly 5%. And I think it really quite nicely complements fiber and 5G.
Meanwhile, the crisis continues to deepen in Lebanon. On Tuesday, authorities officially hiked fuel prices by more than 30%, removing subsidies in a bid to reduce the strain on state coffers. Comes on top of crippling inflation and a steep currency devaluation. Mario Sofos reports.
As the Lebanese people grapple with an economic crisis that the World Bank has dubbed the worst since the mid-19th century, the government hiked fuel prices by more than 35% on Tuesday. The aim to relieve pressure on the country's currency reserves, while also easing massive fuel shortages that for weeks have seen crowds queuing up at petrol stations, with scuffles between motorists commonplace.
I'm not thinking about whether the price rises or not. I have a family, we rent, we have 1,000 things to pay for. Pretty soon, people will be killing each other for fuel.
They increase the prices and the lines increase. Something's wrong with this country.
Fuel importers blame the drastic shortages on the central bank's delay in opening credit lines to fund imports due to an exhaustion of Lebanon's foreign currency reserves. The country's deep economic crisis has forced the government to rely on these reserves, which have dropped dangerously low from $30 billion at the start of the crisis to nearly $15 billion currently. In less than 2 years, the economic collapse has sunk the Lebanese currency by more than 90%. The fuel hikes come the same week that a sharp currency devaluation brought angry protesters out onto the streets. The Lebanese pound has been officially pegged to the dollar at £1,507 since 1997. On Saturday, it traded at up to £17,500 to the dollar on the black market, an all-time low.
And finally, United Airlines has just filed the biggest plane order in its history. Covers 270 jets from Airbus and Boeing at a list price of $35 billion, though airlines often pay less than the official list price. While air travel continues to lag behind pre-pandemic levels, the carrier is painting the order as a sign of faith in the recovery. United also says it plans to add 25,000 jobs by 2026. Tom, the company also promising those new workers will be represented by unions. That's already the case for about 90% of United's workforce.
Okay, well, thank you very much indeed for bringing us up to speed on all of that. Cole Stangler from the Business Desk. Thank you.